And then in wealth, a lot of people don't think about when they think about life insurance, they only think about dying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I remember someone, I'm not going to say a name, remember talking to someone about life insurance, and they were like, "Well, what do I care? I'm going to be dead." I was like, that's a horrible way of thinking. Like you want to leave okay, and even if you do die, you want to leave your children the responsibility of having to come out of the pocket to bury you? What if they don't have it like that at that time? But a lot of folks don't think about the living benefits of life insurance and how you can not be in poverty if you had that policy, especially your children and your children's children. I want you to talk about that.
So yeah, and once again, what I have to look at when I hear people talk like that is like before it used to just anger me, but I had to say no. I felt my great grandma's spirit saying, no, don't be mad, don't judge,
Hmm.
don't do that because they're just speaking from a place that they know. We didn't get life insurance. They didn't offer life insurance to us back in the day to build wealth. We couldn't do it.
Right.
So I always, when I start talking about life insurance, I go back and tell, like, this is why a lot of times our family members talk like this because, see, back in the day, we could only get $10,000 worth of insurance that was whole life.
Right.
And that was the max. We were not allowed to get term and whatever else they might have had back then that they offered other races. All we could do was get 10,000, the max, on a family member. No, it wasn't any go over here, get another policy, go over here. No, one policy. And we had to utilize that as our bank because this is back whenever they didn't want to let or lend to the black people. So we were never put in position back in the day to utilize it to build wealth. We utilize it as coverage as a death benefit and
Right.
maybe be able to borrow a few $100s here and there if we needed to. So it wasn't until the Civil Rights Act of 1964 came along where they amended that. But how do you hide something from a black person? You put it in a book. We didn't know.
We didn't know.
So these agents just kept selling these $10,000 plans. So in households, nobody ever talked about utilizing life insurance as a wealth builder. It was just let me make sure I have something so that when that time frame comes, my family can put me away nice and I'm not trying to be a burden. That was the extent of it. So when I hear people talk like that, I'm like, you know what? I can't get mad because maybe in their household it was never mentioned about life insurance being that, or it was, if it was a big policy, it was so expensive because here's somebody coming and talking about, oh, you want 100,000? They're not talking about what different kind of components they can, have on it. They just go out here and just give them $100,000 whole life policy, which is very expensive. They're like, no, I can't afford that. So then that's how it became, sometimes where black people have the mindset they do. Not that they don't want to leave anything, but they were like, it's too expensive and I'm just going to, leave whatever I can, to make sure my family don't have to, go and do a GoFundMe to bury me. So that's what I have to remind myself of whenever I do hear that. And that's where I try to come in to say, well, let me sit down and let me give you some knowledge. Let me sit down with you and let me give a breakdown to you as far as the different types of coverage we have out here now, how each type can benefit you. Let me tell you about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Like the one policy that is real popular now, even though it's been out for a while, is a thing called an IUL, an Index Universal Life.
Hmm.
That's what they call the infinity banking concept, the IBC. And what that is it's a policy where it serves as a death benefit. And like you were saying about the living benefits, this is
Hmm.
also another thing that they consider a living benefit, meaning that when you're still alive, if the cash value has accumulated to, and normally it's about that third year when you can start borrowing against it. But once that cash value accumulates, you can borrow against it and do whatever you want to do with the
Yeah.
money. You don't have to, it's not like you're filling out a loan application. It's not like you are having to tell the company what you want to do with the money. If there's $5,000 there and you want that 5,000, you contact that company or you go online, you put in that request for the loan. 2 or 3 days later, if you decided to have a direct deposit, bam, the money is in your account.